Air Niugini and PNG Air, while recently making headlines for Air Niugini's proposed purchase of 60% share of PNG Air, both airlines have faced worrying times during COVID-19 with a 2-week lockdown that grounded all aircraft and international flight restrictions.
They've only had 8 cases of COVID domestically and they've all recovered. We're entirely in support of the government's quarantine requirements, and we'll work hand in glove with the government on that.
If we are going to succeed, we have to make sure that we are somewhat lean and mean in what we do.
Air Niugini's flight schedule up to 70% as domestic flights are now with no restrictions. And the national airline chartered by the government and private company for the repatriation of individuals out of the country and returning citizens.
There's a range of Papua New Guineans coming back on our normal commercial services out of Singapore, out of Cairns, out of Brisbane, and they're generally paying for their own ticket, and then the government's quarantining them at government expense at a hotel. And then there's been a couple of flights, Sydney today.
PNG Air's flight schedule have also resumed to around 80% with all the domestic destinations, but finding difficulty with charter flights.
And as you know, there are SOE issues in those respective areas, which unfortunately has delayed this a little bit. But once they come on board, which we expect to happen in the next maybe 2 months or less, then our revenue will start to increase pre-COVID levels to about 75-80%.
PNG Air, with around 700 staff, surprisingly let go of foreign fly-in fly-out staff as borders closed.
There's a complete restructure of the company, right? We got 57 pilots here already. Of those 57 pilots, 85%, or probably I think a little bit more, maybe 88%, are local pilots, right? We have 22 engineers at the moment to cater to our needs, right? Most of those pilots are, most of those engineers are locals, right? So at the moment, we do not need to bring anyone from overseas, because that's the way we structure our costs.
Air Niugini in the end getting a 20 million kina loan from KPHL, and also PNG Air taking out loans during COVID-19.
An interest-bearing loan from KCH, but that's a loan, like all commercial institutions, that we're going to have to pay back, and that we're going to have to pay back with interest. It's a loan, not a grant.
Usual little leeways from various credit companies for a few months, but that's also coming to an end. We have managed right up to now without any more extra borrowings.
The effects of COVID-19's economic impact being felt by both airlines, but both are positive that commercial flights will continue to grow within the new normal, safeguarding thousands of jobs. Adelaide Surik's Kari National, EMTV News.